And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chant, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Sunday, October 13th, 2024. And if you would like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you to a web page with a big map of the continental U.S. with Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left and tabs for the territories. And if you point and click anywhere on this map, it'll give you a very specific forecast for any location in the nation, including any relevant warnings, watches, or advisories. Quick check of the weather map on this Sunday afternoon. Of greatest note is that we have freeze warnings freeze warnings and frost advisories for the upper Midwest in through the plains, Nebraska, the Dakotas, western areas of Iowa. We'll see frost freezing temperatures tonight and probably again tomorrow night. Of note, though, by next weekend, later in the upcoming week and next weekend, there's going to be a big warm-up through here. We could see temperatures, Chicago, Des Moines toward Omaha could be back up in the 70s to even near 80 degrees in a few spots. So not uncommon to get these big temperature swings in the Midwest in the fall. Here in Alaska, we're trending downward toward winter. Things are just steadily cooling down. We've had an area of low pressure sitting out in the North Pacific, south of the Alaska Peninsula, and now southeast of Kodiak Island this weekend. It's had a broad circulation, strong winds on the backside. We've had even some accumulating snows work their way across the central northern interior. This area of low pressure, though, will gradually weaken as we go through the early and middle part of the week as it works its way eastward. There is still some accumulating snow along areas of the North Slope and Brooks Range, but that will be diminishing here overnight. The next winter system will be coming in off the Chukchi Sea. A low pressure and cold front will be moving into areas along the northwest coast between Point Hope and Utqiagvik on Tuesday, and that could bring some gusty winds and accumulating snow that will overspread southeastward across the interior to the southeast mainland here as we go through midweek. And then of other note, I've been talking about the possibility of being able to see a comet. Well, it's looking fairly likely. It's just a matter, can you get clear skies and really pristine conditions for viewing, but it will be visible along the western horizon after sunset this week. So I'll give you a little more detail on that in just a moment. So taking a look at fresh snow cover here, areas of the central Yukon Valley picked up some snowfall yesterday evening and overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning. About a 4 or 5 inch snowfall there around Bettles with some sunshine this Sunday afternoon. Point Lay, with the brisk northeast winds on the backside of this big circulating low, has seen the water levels drop down there along the coast several feet. But that's going to be coming back up again as we have that stronger cold front come in there on Tuesday and Wednesday. But noteworthy, I'll show you a pretty interesting graph regarding that. And then Kodiak, low pressure is southeast of Kodiak Island, some partly sunny skies, but some scattered showers. And you can see the vertical development still within these stratocumulus clouds. So that's what's supporting those showers, 48 degrees. Sitka still has another round of enhanced frontal rain going to work through the panhandle this Sunday evening. And then after that, still areas of rain and rain showers will linger along sections of the Gulf Coast and especially the panhandle Monday into Tuesday. So here is the water level, how it has varied this weekend at Point Lay, the northwest coast there along the Chukchi Sea. As of today, we saw it get downwards of 7 feet below the mean higher high water level, and it's projected to come back up. This is normal. This is the normal high water level, the average high water level. And with that cold front coming in winds, southwesterly winds, it's expected to come back up a foot or two above that normal line by Wednesday as a result of that next winter system coming in. But that's pretty remarkable. The brisk northeast winds cause the water level to drop as much as 6 to near 7 feet this weekend. Well, here's a really cool, what we call coronagraph. The Solar Observatory and Heliospheric Observatory, I should say. This is one of NASA's tools. Blocks out the sun and allows you to see on Tuesday. This is comet. This is the comet, Tsushinshan Atlas. as it's approaching and going around the sun. Here it is today. It's coming around on the backside, and it points away from the sun because the sun radiates energy outward, the solar wind. This is a solar flare, not Earth-directed, but one that popped off today. So you can see the comet making this swing around the sun. Well, we are now going to be able to see the comet in the western sky. Before it was a morning object, but now because it's come around the sun, it'll be visible in the evening sky. And this is just looking at some data and information. I plotted this out for, this should be for Monday evening, the 14th. We're looking at the comet to be about 10 degrees above the horizon, 7:30 to 8 p.m. You have to look west, just slightly south of due west, but you have to have very clear conditions. You can't have fog, marine layer, stratus clouds, a tree line, or mountains that'll block it out. You have to have a clean view of the horizon. You might be able to see the tail sticking up above that, but it would be helpful to have binoculars to at least initially spot it. And this will be capable of seeing this under clear conditions for the next week or two, but I just wanted to highlight coming up this week because there appears to be a chance coming up here in areas of South Central, especially as we go through the next few nights. But tonight, generally still cloudy across much of the Gulf Coast. And in the north, we have this lingering winter storm warning for the central Brooks Range and along the eastern half of the Arctic coast, though the accumulating snow up here is beginning to wind down, and that'll be the case overnight. We still have brisk gale force winds along areas of the west coast into the eastern Aleutians as the low is sitting in this position. And if I put the satellite in motion, you can clearly see there's the low. Notice the cellular nature, though, of the clouds out over the Gulf, North Pacific around this low. There are showers and even the potential for an isolated thunderstorm because of the instability with this kind of system. You have colder air aloft wrapping in around the low, and that warmer temperatures of the water, so that enhances the instability. You have a front that's pushed in along the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. That's going to bring a renewed area, an enhanced area of rain, at least for a time this Sunday evening, to the Panhandle before that peels off to the east-southeast, and then just some lingering areas of rain or rain showers are expected, especially in through the Panhandle Monday and Tuesday. Farther north, here are some of the enhanced clouds of the snow areas still that remain across the central northern interior. And then on the backside, we have snow showers, rain showers mixed here along the eastern, southeastern bearing along the west coast with the gusty winds. And then way to the west is the hints of the next low pressure system, but that's not going to be a big weather maker compared to the one here. That was the one that came out of the central bearing and then crossed down along the tip of the Alaska Peninsula late in the week on Friday. So as we go through today, we have the central pressure up now to 976 millibars. It's almost up 20 millibars from what it was the other day. And it'll continue to gradually fill and then just work its way eastward along the lower Gulf, North Pacific as we go through Monday and Tuesday, and then eventually inland across Haida Gwaii and the British Columbia coast. Now the colder air to the north stalls out a little bit. It's going to be waiting for the next system. On Monday, we find the low fills to about 990 by Monday afternoon, lingering trough, what was once an occluded front. We have one of the initial fronts just kind of weak, washed out, and the cold front here to the north also kind of stalls and washes out with the relatively weak low crossing the Aleutians. Nothing terribly strong considering what the system that just came through this past late week and weekend. So here comes, this is a rather potent little system coming in off the Arctic Ocean in Chukchi Sea. This could bring accumulating snow along with some blowing snow as it works its way inland across the northwest coast, the Chukchi Sea coastline on Tuesday into Tuesday night. And then this feature will drive some colder air across much of the northern central, all the way down even into the southeast mainland by Thursday. And this low will eventually kind of take a track just south of the Gulf. So it'll be interesting to see if the two of those features could combine a bit here toward the end of the week. But nevertheless, that's going to bring gradually colder temperatures across the mainland along with some areas of snow or snow showers in the midweek ahead. Temperatures Monday morning will be above freezing in the Panhandle, no issues there. Below freezing, Copper River Basin, near freezing there, Talkeetna, Anchorage Bowl above freezing. Monday afternoon, highs could be still low mid-50s across parts of the southern and outer Panhandle. Generally 40s here throughout South Central and all around the Kenai Peninsula. Tuesday morning lows will be again coldest up there, Copper River Basin 22, other side of the Alaska Range, some teens showing up there at McGrath, and then Tuesday afternoon highs generally in the 40s, mid 40s, including Talkeetna, Anchorage down to Soldotna, 38 there at Glen Allen, and then back here through the Panhandle, upper 40s to lower 50s. In the far north, coldest readings, if there's some clearing with the new snow, you could be down near a few spots, wouldn't be surprised. See a few isolated just below zero readings. Otherwise, everybody up through this region is below freezing. And on Monday afternoon, we should get temperatures back up above freezing in the middle, around, say, go Tanana on up into the upper Tanana Valley. We get some 40-degree readings at Northway and Eagle. Otherwise, below freezing along parts of the Arctic coast, and just a little above freezing along the Seward coastline. There's a zero there for Tuesday morning. Bet a bit colder than that. There'll be a few sub-zero readings here along the Brooks Range where there is that fresh snow cover and clearer skies. Temperatures elsewhere, teens rather common. So definitely colder trend as I've been talking about. Tuesday afternoon, we're looking at highs near or just above freezing along the northwest Chukchi Sea coast. That front will be pushing in with some snow in the afternoon and evening, and that will begin to overspread and head southeastward as we go through midweek. But otherwise, temperatures in the interior cooling down as well, and that'll be a reinforcing shot coming in for the midweek Wednesday and the Thursday. For Monday morning, lows below freezing here across the southwest interior, Bethel heading up the Yukon or Kuskokwim rivers. Still above freezing and breezy there along the Alaska Peninsula and especially eastern Aleutians. And then Monday afternoon, we're looking for temperatures to be maybe mid-30s for highs here across the southwest interior, still near 40. Dillingham and King Salmon, lower 40s as we trail out the Alaska Peninsula into the Aleutians. And then Tuesday morning could be rather cold, some isolated teens up here as we creep up the Yukon and Kuskokwim rivers. Otherwise, 20s quite common. Readings stay above freezing across the Alaska Peninsula and Aleutians with lows generally mid to upper 30s. And high temperatures Tuesday afternoon, again, staying in the 30s here across the southwest interior, 40-ish around, again, King Salmon, Dillingham, and staying low mid-40s. Extending out along the Alaska Peninsula all the way out through the Aleutians. So the temperature outlook October 19th through the 23rd is for below normal temperatures over the eastern and southeast mainland and especially centered over the northern half of the Panhandle. So temperatures there below normal. Above normal temperatures are anticipated along the west and northwest coast from the Yukon Delta all the way up around Norton Sound, the Seward Peninsula to Utqiagvik. And this would imply that there are some weather systems. There's going to be a strong front. There's going to be a very deep low up here in that period that could drive a very windy front with relatively mild or wet conditions in here through the northwest. That would, though, this time of year mean snow or a combination of snow and mixed precipitation impacting areas of the west and northwest coast. With a storm track in that time frame favoring that location, then drier than normal conditions would likely result along the Gulf Coast as we go through October 19th and the 23rd.